You're all welcome to First Influencers TV, where we talk about the latest in the world of sports. Today, we are opportunity to have a great man in the house today in the name of Julius Agahawa. He's an ex-footballer and Nigerian international. Please, Mr. Julius Aghahowa, can you kindly introduce yourself formally?
Hello, everyone. My name is Julius Agahawa, former Super Eagles striker. It's nice to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Welcome. It's like I said, it's such a privilege because this is a busy man. It's not easy, tracking him down to give him to have in this interview with us. So we are really, really grateful that you were able to make this. So let's just go right into it. So how did you venture into football, please?
Well, it all started from Benin, way back, very young age. I loved the game. As I was growing up, I remember my dad bought the first ball for me when I was very, very, very young. So ever since then, I fell in love with the game. We used to play a lot of youth competitions, under 13, under 14, all the way to under 16. So from there, my love for the game grew. So I never, stopped loving the game. So it was just for fun for most of us. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about us going to play for big teams in the world. It was just for the love of the game. So that's how we started. And a lot of people would call us to come and play games for them, play clubs, competitions. And that's how it started. Even from school, when I closed from school, I used to go to the pitch. But my parents will always flog me for that, for doing that, because they want me to come back home so that I will not get injured. And but I kept going. And each time I go and come back, they flog me for it. So it kept on going like that, but I still kept on playing,
Oh, this is interesting because for the purpose of our viewers that are not used to the African setting, because what
Yeah.
he's saying about flogging is African parents don't encourage that wants their children to play football. Unlike now, so they're always like you have to go to
Yes.
school, become a doctor or lawyer. So that's why he gets flogged each time he plays football. And that's been an interesting one.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that with us. So, take us through the clubs you have played for during your career as a footballer.
Well, as a young player, there was no particular club as the youth when we were playing. We play under 13 different competitions, under 13, under 16. So, but there's one that actually we stand out. We call it Sanko Stars.
Okay.
Then from there I moved to Marathon Football Club. These are my youth clubs that I played. And then from there, I think my amateur club, I play for police machine team because my house is very, very close to the barracks,
Okay.
where we have the good pitches where a lot of teams come to play competition. So, and that's where we usually go to any training, matches and all that. So I used to play there regularly. And then this police team, they trained there as well. And they saw few of us that were playing in that particular time. And they invited us to come and play for them. So that's how I started playing for the police machine team. And then from there, I moved to Bendel Insurance because we played FA Cup against Bendel Insurance. And I scored against them. And they invited me to come and play for them. So I moved from there to Bendel Insurance. From Bendel Insurance, that's the top team, if I would say, the Nigerian league at that time. They were in the Premier League, as we call it.
Yeah.
So they called me, and then I signed for them. And then the same year, we went to play the FA Cup, and we got to the finals. And that's where they saw me, the home base Super Eagles. That was where I was first of all invited to the home base Super Eagles camp. And
Okay.
because I was so little at that time, they said, you're too small. You still need to grow. So they now drafted me from there to the under 21.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up playing for the World Youth Championship for Nigeria under 21 World Cup, which Nigeria hosted.
Wow.
So from there, during the tournament, a club came when the tournament was still going on, a club came from Denmark, and then they negotiated with me. At that time, I did not have any experience about international club or contract signing or anything. So, but when they came, I introduced them to my coach Tude Disu at that time, and he spoke with them, and we signed the contract that after the tournament they would definitely bring me over to Denmark. So, but as the tournament was still progressing, other people were watching me play. And then Esperance of Tunisia came and said, we've seen you play in this tournament. We want to actually sign you. And they came over to Nigeria and, brought the sign-on fee, brought the document, the contract, everything, went to my club, Bendel Insurance, negotiated with them, and they were ready to pay whatever it cost at that time. So at the end of the day, they paid $200,000 for the clearance from Bendel Insurance. Me, I was still, just a teenager at that time. So they paid that money. And then I told them I already have like a kind of pre-arrangements with this club in Denmark. And they said, no, they will be able to fix that. I shouldn't worry about that. So at the end of the tournament, Nigeria 99, I went to Tunisia. And then that club from Denmark had to write to FIFA and say, we already have a kind of pre-contract with this player. Why is he now playing for another team? Or why is he signing for another team? So, and then they contacted my club, Esperance. And then the Esperance also said that, we have signed him before. They backdated the whole date and all that. This is just the part of the whole story. They backdated it and said we were the first to sign him and all that. So it was between now the two clubs to battle it out. And at the end of the day, I would tell them where I want to be. So I decided to stay with Esperance at that time. And I played there for a year. Remember, a lot of clubs saw me play in that World Youth Championship, and some of them that were not fast enough to get in contact with me, they were still tracking me. They tracked me all the way to Tunisia, and then I just played a year there. We played in the CAF Champions League final in Africa, and then we at the finals we lost in the finals to ASEC Mimosa. That's how after that tournament, my agent brought a contract from Shakhtar Donetsk. So that time I have not even heard of that club. I have not even heard of Shakhtar Donetsk in my life. But the offer was great. It was time for me to move after testing the African soil for a year. It was time for me to try somewhere else. I decided to go and try. So I went to Ukraine, first time in Europe. Snow, never seen snow in my life, coming from Benin City, playing the local football. And then, it was difficult for me at first to acclimatize, but within a short time, I was able to blend in. So that's how I started playing for Shakhtar, and they signed a 5-year deal with them. And after that 5 years, they wanted me to stay more. I extended my contract, but within that 5 years, a lot of clubs too, like I said, those that tracked me before, they saw me play now in Shakhtar, and they were now still following me up to there, and they were still trying to get me out of there. So, but my club didn't want me to leave. Shakhtar didn't want me to leave. They wanted to extend the contract, and I weighed the pros and cons, and this is a club that would regularly play in the Champions League every year. We play regularly, and I figured out my chances would be there. Maybe let me solidify myself, and then let's see if I can move. So somewhere along the line, a new coach came, tried to change the formation of the team, tried to change the pattern and the players. So we started trying to move out, and that was 2005-06. So that's how I found myself with a contract with Wigan Athletics. And then from there, when the club was passing through their phases at that time, fighting relegation, I joined them when they were already having a 10, they were losing 10 matches at that time, and they were fighting relegation. So I didn't really find the time to acclimatize, didn't really see the time to blend in with the team. And then a lot of players were coming in, different managers, different players. So I didn't get enough playing time as well. I didn't, settle down well as well. So, and I needed to move. After a year, I had to go. My agent came up with a contract in Turkey, and I moved to Turkey. Signed a 3 years contract in Turkey. Started playing my game, do my thing, and then my club, my Shakhtar Donetsk, contacted me again and said, we really want to have you back. We have a strong team now. We want to play in the Champions League. We really want you to come back because we have seen what you are doing in Turkey. You have improved, so we want to have you back to strengthen our team. I said, okay, but I just signed a 3 year contract here now, and I've not even finished the first year. Yes. And they said there's no problem if I can cancel the contract. They will send my agent down to cancel the contract, and they will speak to the club and all that. So, and then that's how I canceled the contract, the remaining 2 years, and I went back to Shakhtar, and I went there, first game, played, scored again, and then I was back. But something happened along the line. I think my agent and the coach agent, they had a deal together with that transfer, and my agent didn't fulfill his part of the deal. So when he left, I was now the one that would bear the brunt of what the agent did. So then I wasn't given the opportunity to play regularly anymore. So I now asked to go for a loan, and I went for a loan a year, came back, and then the last year I spent the last year in Shakhtar, and after that I decided to call it quits because I felt that loan I went for was an experience because it wasn't a top club. It was a small team, that were just coming up. And when I went there, what I experienced there, I didn't want to go and experience it. So I've been playing top flight. I've been playing regularly Champions League, UEFA Cup, and all that. So I did not want to go to a smaller team that I would be struggling or not happy playing the game, because my major aim of this football was the happiness I used to derive playing the game. So when that happiness is no longer there, I decided, it's not right for me to continue playing while I'm not happy. So I decided to call it quits and move back home and face other things, and then maybe face my private business and face my family as well.
That's
so that, in a nutshell, that's just the whole clubs I played from from beginning to end.
It's been a very interesting journey which you just expressed just like few minutes like that. I can imagine what you must have gone through, and all the experience you must have gathered over the years. So that's a very good one. We're really once again we're really grateful for you to have obliged to having us. So the next question is it's every player's nightmare, having injury. Have you ever had any major injury that after that is setback during your career?
Definitely. Today, you if you know me well, you will know my style of football. You will know how I used to play. I'm always very physical. I'm always very I don't shy away from tackles. I always fight with defenders. I risk my legs, risk my body. No matter the part of my body, I risk it just to put the ball at the back of the net at the end of the day to make the fans and everybody happy. So along the line, I got a very serious injury. We can have injuries here and there, but they might be minor, and you don't count those. But I had a major injury, and I had my ligament croisé. I came back to play one national team game in Nigeria. I think it was in Port Harcourt. And then when I got back to my team, the first game I played, immediately I got back, I went for a tackle, and then the defender fell on my knee while I was in an awkward position. So my ligament ruptured, and they had to fly me out to Germany. And that's why I did the operation. I did the operation in Germany. I spent a lot of time, about 4 to 5 months I was out. And I thought maybe that would be the end of my career, but they spent a lot of money on me. They took me down there to the best doctor, best sports football doctor in Europe at that time. I did the operation. Then from there they flew me to Italy for rehabilitation, the best rehabilitation center in Italy at that time. And I rehabilitated, and then when I was okay, I went back to Ukraine and then started rehabilitating. It was difficult. It was very difficult because at that time, I had a lot going through my mind. Whether I was still going to play, at first when I started playing, I couldn't get my momentum. If I'm running, me, I'm a fast player. Speed is one of my greatest. Speed is one of my greatest assets. And then when I'm trying to speed, and then I found out, it was now limiting. The injury I had was not limiting my ability. So I started feeling bad from there. So it took me a lot of time to get back. It took me a lot of time to actually get back to my. So by the time I got back, I think it was just after that I moved to England. Because I was not happy in Ukraine anymore. I wanted to just leave and just move elsewhere, and that's how I moved. And but at the end of the day, as I was playing, gradually I was getting myself back, and that's how I was able to still play more games for Nigeria and the club side.
Wow. That's a very powerful thing that you just said now, that you've just been able to tell us about the injury thing. Like I said, it's everybody's nightmare, especially players, football players. It cuts across all the sports, so I can imagine what you must have gone through. Maybe mentally, psychologically, it will affect your output. So thank you for taking us through that. You've answered this question partly, but I'm still going to ask you. So, what prompted your move to Shakhtar Donetsk?
Like I said before, I was in Esperance, and after the Champions League final, my agent came, and I think they were also part of the clubs that were monitoring my progress over there when I was playing in the World Youth Championship. So they came up with the offer, and that this club every year they are always coming in maybe first or second in the Ukrainian league, and thereby qualifying to play in the Champions League or have the chance to play the UEFA Cup and all that. So I found out that this is an opportunity for me, to just leave the African soil and dive straight into the big, the big scene where a lot of clubs can see me, and then I can do something. That's how I decided to try them out.
Yeah, that's very good. That's in fact, if I were in your shoes, I would probably have done the same thing, because you want to play in the big, in the big place, in the big stadia where you have bigger audience, and competitors coming for you, asking you to be signed.
Yes.
So I can really relate with what you said. Coming back to the African continent now. Yeah, the AFCON final. What's your view on it? Were you expecting Senegal to win?
Yes, partly because there were so many reasons why I would say I was expecting Senegal to win, being that they've been close to that trophy for a lot of times. They've been in the finals, but they were not able to lift the cup. So we were all kind of having that kind of soft spot for Senegal, with their arrays of stars they produce in Africa as a whole and the world. So we were kind of having a soft spot for them to at least get it this time around. Since the Super Eagles were already out, a lot of big teams were out. The Cameroon, the host team, they were out. So we felt, let Senegal. Egypt has already won it 7 times. So I think it's an opportunity for Senegal to win it, knowing fully well that if they don't win it this time, it might be very, very difficult, and it will be in a long time before they will win it again. And I'm very, very particularly happy for Cisse, because he has been with that team for close to 8 years, if not more than that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we were just having a soft spot for them, just for them to have their first win of Africa after producing good players in the African soil.
Thanks for that. Everybody was rooting for them, like you said. Everybody wanted them to win.
Yes.
Of course, and it's all about the beauty of the game, and the rivalry amongst the two greats. That is Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. So everybody was rooting for them. And thank God you mentioned you made a comment about the Super Eagles. So having played at the highest level now, and with the sudden exit of the Super Eagles, what advice would you give, from your experience? What advice would you give to the Eagles match against Ghana at the World Cup qualification? What's your advice to them?
Well, you can remember that the Super Eagles played very, very well in the group stage.
Yes.
They were unarguably the best team in the group stage of that tournament.
Yes.
And a lot of expectation were now given to the players and the technical crew, to perform in the knockout stage. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. So that is in the past now, and I want us the Super Eagles to focus their attention on the bigger picture, which is the World Cup. If we lose out in the AFCON, we shouldn't lose out in the World Cup. This is a bigger platform.
Yes.
It's a bigger stage for the Super Eagles and their fans all over the world.
Yes.
So my advice is that they should allow that to just go behind them, and then we should focus all our attention to this match. Everything should be focused on this game so that we'll qualify for the World Cup. And then this is not a matter of just going there to play. Everything, backroom staff, the players, the technical crew, everybody must be on deck. Even the NFF have to be on deck. And the preparation have to start on time. And this issue of not having continuity in the team is what is making the team to be performing halfway in, halfway out. So we need a stable coach with the players who can read the players, who can know how to bring out the best from every player from all positions. That's the kind of player. That's the kind of team I want. The NFF should be able to do that. We want stability in the team. Even after the World Cup qualifiers with Ghana, the team for the World Cup should immediately start. They should start building the team. Not maybe a month or 2 months to the World Cup, we'll start calling players to come to camp. And we should start from friendly matches. Right after that World Cup qualifier with Ghana, we should build a team, and we know our strong team. We can have friendly matches to test players, but we should start doing it from time. That's my message to the team.
Thank you very much. That was really intense. As in, you have lots of things that you just told them now. So I'm sure all the coaches, the manager, the technical, know-how, the technical experts should take this on board. Yeah. From your experience, having played at with the Super Eagles, what do you think is lacking during your time as one of the great players in Super Eagles? What do you think is lacking during your time with the current crop of players that we have on now? What do you think is lacking?
Okay, as you know, Mr. Jide, you've been in the football circle for a long time. You know that with every generation, you will have different set of players.
Yes.
So sometimes people compare the past players and the new players. These are two generations of players.
Yeah, true.
Definitely, these present players we have are all talented because most of them, grew up abroad. They have the facility to train with. They have good food. They don't need to worry about what they will eat when they finish training and all that. So they did not struggle for anything. So like imagine if you have a kid abroad now and he's a boy and he wants to play football. You remember from primary school or secondary school, they have already started training him, and then he's finished training, he will come home. There's electricity, there's food to eat. Those things that we used to struggle for back here, they don't have it there. So definitely the concentration will be solely on playing the game and concentrating on the game. But back here, we have a lot to, first of all, think about. You go for training, you did not have anything to eat. You will come back, maybe you trek home, and then you come back, and then you have to look for what to eat or even get water to shower and all that. So that is part of the thing that builds the Nigerian player. It builds you because you know that you are struggling. You know that you don't have anything to fall back to. So when the opportunity will come to you, you want to take it with everything you have in your soul and your heart. You want to take it. So you fight for everything. If you want to keep a position, you will fight for it. You want to give your best. So that is the difference from what we used to have. And now that we have these players who are coming in now, they didn't struggle for anything. So they don't also see the name. When they go to play games, they go in there, they just play. If you win, fine. If we don't win, we go home. But back then, it's not like that. It's a must win. Once you step out, you want to win. Maybe at the end of the day, if you don't win that game, you know that, okay, you fought hard for that game, you wanted to win. But, the fans will see it, that you really worked hard, you fought for it. Yes. That's the difference that I see there. We're not arguing that these players, they are talented. I have never been in doubt that they are not talented. They are talented. But now that fighting spirit, in the players is what is the difference. We need to put that in them. You must fight for every ball, fight for every game. Make sure you want to fight to win every game. That's just the difference.
I think, thanks for answering that. I think what you said, that's there is generational difference. It's a very cogent point which you just made, because the generations now, they are more laid back. They're more laid back. Like,
yes,
that's the difference. They don't have to. They put. I'm not saying they don't make effort, but they are more laid back than the older generation. Thanks for that. The next question. Along your career as a player, what's the most painful loss which you have had? Maybe in the club level or the team level, playing for Nigeria. What's the most painful that I can't forget this?
Yes. If I would pick one, I have several of them, but if I'm allowed to pick one, that would be the Nations Cup finals against Cameroon in the National Stadium, Surulere. Nations Cup finals, Nigeria, Cameroon.
Yes.
On penalties, we lost on penalties, and that was the closest I could get to the cup. That would have been my chance at my first AFCON to lift the AFCON trophy, but it didn't happen. So I think that's my that's the moment I will call up.
Yes, I can remember. In fact, you mentioned, reminding me that it's even paining me even more now, because I remember Eto was there. Eto was there. Was one of the players. So I remember. It's such a painful experience, even for us that are watching from the stadium. Like, this was such a painful experience. So I understand what you just said now. So, how many caps have you for Nigeria?
32. You remember those days? The Super Eagles don't play a lot of friendly games.
Yes.
It's maybe when it's close to a tournament, the Nations Cup. Then we come out, we play, and then all qualifiers, and then we come out and play. We didn't play a lot of friendlies at that time, and so I just had 32 caps because it's only tournaments, and then. That was just 32 caps.
Okay. like I mentioned when we were talking initially before the commencement of the interview, for our viewers, this gentleman that you're looking at is he doesn't look his age at all, you know. And being 40, you know,
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. It is a compliment. It is. You know, looking at the gentleman, you
Thank
will
you,
think he's 25, you know, and so being 40, what's your general outlook, you know, about life now? What's your outlook?
Well, the major difference I would say, you know, when I was younger, I used to worry a lot about, you know, what the future holds, what I would need to accomplish, and I was too serious minded, you know, like I don't go out, I don't party, I don't go to clubs, I make sure I don't eat this, drink this, or do that. So I was very, very professional. You know, when my mates are going out, you know, to have enjoyment or have parties, you don't see me there, you know, because I was so worried about my future, what I need to achieve and all that. So now that I'm crossing this milestone, I feel my life is just about to start. You know, now I feel that I need to start my life now. With my age, I'm more relaxed, I'm more calm. I don't worry about those things anymore. So that's just the major difference. It's like I'm starting my life all over again, you know, starting a brand new life without all those stress, without all those things I used to think about. That's just the wonderful thing about it.
That's good. After all, life begins at 40 anyway. So you know, I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
I'm just beginning a new life.
Exactly. It's just 20
Yes.
again. So yeah, we understand that. So this is just a side comment. One of our followers just said, "Oh, so true. I got wonder. The current. I think she's referring to the you know the difference between your generation and the current generation. So she said the comment she made was so true. I got wonder. The current Super Eagles player already have a table prepared before them. Hence, they can fully understand the importance of being in, or maybe what she wanted to say is they can't fully understand the importance of being in the national team because they already have you know everything that they are looking for, unlike you know the older generation.
Their bed laid out for them.
That's exactly what she meant. Thank you for that, Josephine Abimbola.
Yes.
Then the next question is do you have a badge as a coach, or what are you doing presently since you have retired?
I'm that kind of a player because during my playing time, you know, being a physical player, I understand the kind of thing I would need from another player. You know, so if I'm a manager, the kind of things I would want from a player would be the kind of ways I used to play. You know what I mean? And so with that, if I go into coaching and I don't get that from my player, I might, you know, because I might be physical, I might not be happy, you know, not getting those kind of things from players. I watched this present. There are a few games I watched during the qualifiers of the Super Eagles. I saw that, you know, that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of fighting spirit, I didn't see it. So if I was in that team, that's the kind of thing I will look for. Or I will look for those kind of players that have it in them, but they are not able to express themselves, you know, to come out and do it. Remember Victor Osimhen is a player that I like. You know, he's forceful. He fights for every game. He go out there, risk himself. He knows what it takes to represent a country. He knows what it takes to represent a club. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Other players, they might have it in them, but you need a coach that will force those things out of those players. You know, let them perform to their utmost best. You know, so that's the kind of thing I would have done. But you know, unfortunately, I'm not into coaching, and I didn't plan to be one because you know it was just not my calling. You know, so I didn't, maybe administrative part, maybe sometime in the future, maybe. But for now, I'm just focused on my personal business, personal life, which I'm doing.
That is really great. And you know, when you said you might get physical, I'm just like, these generations. No, you can't get physical with this generation. No.
Exactly. So that's why
Yeah,
I have to stay away.
yeah. Thanks for that too. So I was going to ask you a question that which I think you partly answered. So now, what do you advise the government to do for ex-players after retirement? Because I don't want to mention names. We have a certain player this week that that is doing something that is not worthy of our ex-players. So, what advice would you chip in for the government, please?
No, I know this is a sensitive issue
Yes.
on both sides of the government and also the side of the players. So I will look at it from that two angle. The side of the government is that we've been trying for years to stabilize the welfare of players, not just footballers, but all sportsmen,
Yes.
all military men, people that have risked their life, people that have served the country. There should be something, steps, put aside. There should be a kind of program, a retirement kind of program, put aside for everybody. We have our sport women, remember, we have our sportmen, not just football. We have boxers, we have athletes, we have different sports, and we have our military men. We have the military, we have the police, we have all paramilitary and all that. So the same thing have to be done for them, so that when they finish, they will not be neglected, to wallow, in abject poverty. So that's on the part of government. That's the only thing that can be done. For them, they've done that for politicians. When they finish, they have something to fall back to. Some of them even continue from one place to another. So, but there's nothing like that for all sportsmen. Or Jide, can you hear me?
Yes. We're still live. Yeah, please go on. Yeah, we're still live. You can go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can go on. We're still live. Yeah. Yes, I can still hear you. Wait, you can go on.
Hello, Jide.
Yeah, you can go on. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We're still live. I can hear you. 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 You can go on. You can go on.
Hello, Jide.
Yeah, I can hear you. You can go on. I can hear you. We're still live. I can hear you. I'm really sorry about that. I think it's the technical itch again for all our viewers that's that's been following us. It's I think it's a faulty internet connection from his side. So thank you for being patient with us, and thanks for being with us today. I hope we'll be able to come back on so that we can continue from where we stop. So let's just wait for a minute or two. I think it's trying to come back on for all our viewers. Yeah, I can. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Oh, good. Thanks for coming back. I
Yes.
was just telling our viewers that they should be patient with us, that we're experiencing, each technical each, so which they've been, I'm sure they understand. So please, you can go on, you can continue from where you stopped.
Okay. So as I was saying, the government don't have that kind of program for everybody that have served this country, represented the country at different levels. And I will now come to the part of the players and the people, who should find a way to look after themselves at later years when the government don't have this kind of program for them. We should find a way, to look after ourselves. Either we produce something, either we put something aside while we are playing, so that we can have something to fall back to at a later years. But recently, we tried to form this players union, a football players union, that we just started not quite long now, and this is part of what we have decided to do. All Nigerian football players union that we just started. This is part of the thing we want to do to look after the welfare of ex-internationals, ex-players, and also the present one as well, to make sure those that are still playing, especially in the Nigerian league, they will have insurance scheme. They will have some kind of engagement when they are no longer playing. Maybe they will be engaged with their old club, or a new club, maybe doing one thing or the other, or through the NFF. They have all the programs that they are doing. They can be engaged, in different parts of the country. Everybody lives in different states, so they can engage everybody to be productive, and thereby, when they are productive, they can earn something from there.
Yes.
And then the ex players, those that are sick, those that don't have anything they are doing, they are sick, they are not in good shape, or they didn't have something safe when they were playing. Then we can also reach out to them occasionally and all that, through the help of the NFF. So we just started that. Hopefully, between now and the end of the year, or early next year, definitely we will be strong enough to start helping out, in our own way that we can. So that's what we just started now, and then hopefully we'll get there.
Yes, that's a very important point that we should just raise. And I don't know, probably the private sector, I think they need to do more. I'm of the opinion that
Yes.
some of the private sectors can use some of our ex-footballers for an ambassadorial roles. Maybe to promote their services, their products, whatever they might be doing. Just even if it's just a little they are chipping into the scheme, the insurance scheme, it goes a long way. So that's what operates over here. So they use most of the old players, they use them for different kinds of ambassadorial roles and what have you. So it's a good thing that insurance scheme is coming up. So thanks for enlightening us more on that. So if you were to select, even though, yeah, you said that you're not going into the, you don't have a bag, you're not going into training, being a manager, but if the Julius Agahawa that I'm speaking to now, that I have an opportunity of speaking to now, it was being asked that, okay, come up with 11 players, African players to represent, to play against the rest of the world. Name your team.
Like, you're trying to put me on the spot right there.
It's good. It's good.
I have lots. I have lots of friends, lots of players all around Africa and Europe, and in fact in the world, both in South America and all that. So I've played a lot of clubs and I've made a lot of friends. Yes. So I think it will be. It will not be so good for me to call names on my lineup, because those that I will not call, they will call me immediately after this interview and say, oh, why am I not in your list? So let me not let me not answer that question if you allow me to escape that.
I think you're a politician now. I think you're a politician. You will have a way of just bringing out of that. I wanted you to mention it, but then I'll let it pass. Though I understand what you're saying. So okay, you said you're not going into the managerial role. So that the next question was going to be like, have you ever considered being a Nigerian football manager? But since you said you've answered that question already, so we'll move to the another question. In your opinion, what can one do to enhance development of football in Nigeria? What can we do? The private sector.
It's very easy. You just mentioned it. The private sector, both individuals and the private sector, the government is the only one that is sponsoring sports at the moment, and that has been what it has been for years. So, but we need to bring in corporate organizations. We have lots of them in Nigeria. We need to bring them into the picture because they have the funds. Sports need funds. Sport is business all over the world.
Yes,
what you put in, you will get them back if you are able to program it properly. Yes. But back here, the private sectors are not into sports. Let me put it that way. So the government needs to find a way to include them into the picture. You need to bring them into the picture. I remember a few weeks back, I was with the Nigerian Football Federation to sign a deal with the Trophy Lager Beer, and they've come into the picture in the southeast part of Nigeria. They have been pumping money. They have been sponsoring, and they are partnering with the Nigerian Football Federation, to be part of the sponsors of the Super Eagles. So we need more people. And I also want to state here that this NFF, right from time, this is the only NFF that I've seen that they have brought in a lot of corporate organizations to come and partner with the Nigerian Football Federation to make sure they are sponsoring the Super Eagles. But on the team level, on the club level, we don't have corporate organizations coming to sponsor club sides or coming to sponsor to sponsor the league. For example, the Nigerian Football League was difficult to start this year because it was difficult to get sponsors for the league to start. And you remember some players are also complaining that they've not received their salaries for months. Imagine what those kind of players will be going through. They have families as well. This is where they are working. This is where they are earning their salary. And if they don't get their salaries, I wonder what the families, their wives, their kids, their mothers, their fathers, what they will be going through. So it's a ripple effect. If the club don't pay the salaries of the players will not be happy. And if the players are not happy, the families will not be happy. And so before you know it, the players will now start performing badly, and then if they are performing badly, the whole team will perform badly, and then at the end of the day, fans will not come to the stadium when the team is performing badly, and then they will not get sponsors again. So it's going to affect a lot of things. So if we put those things involved, make sure that those corporate organizations, they come to support the league and the teams that are playing in the league, and make sure any money that they are bringing, we go straight to these clubs. And when they get to the club, this club will pay these players. Imagine in England, we don't even have any club that will say they are owing a player. It has never been done. Because before the league will start, the clubs have already submitted all their funds with the federation. So there's no excuse. If they don't pay, the federation will pay. You know, so everything is in place. That is the level that I wish we can get to, and then stabilize our football.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with you totally, completely. One thing you said, which I want to reiterate on, is the corporate body, the government, having a way to pull them in. Even I heard there are lots of what's it called? There are lots of bets. Even I don't want to say that there are lots of betting firms in Nigeria now that are making lots of money. In the Premier League or the National League. I don't know how it works, but that they are making substantial amounts of money. The government should be able to let them commit a certain amount to the development of, the sports, not just football, sports generally on the African continent, especially in Nigeria. So they should have to commit that social responsibility. They need to commit to things like that. So thank you for highlighting more on that. So there are players that we read about over here, African players that have been going home for maybe charity, in their grassroots. Do you have any charity you support? Maybe through funds, or maybe you give them items, football. Do you have any charity that you support?
Yeah, definitely. So anything that have to do with charity, it has to be between you and your God. It's not something that need to be put out there, to take the glory. I feel that if it's something that you want to do for the good of people, just because of God, God should be allowed to take the glory. So those kind of things, you should be doing it privately without people knowing. But at the same time, I have a pet team, football club that I reckon with. The name is Oasis Football Club. They are based here in Lagos. It's a very a small team. They have lots of young players, aging from 5 to 18, that they train at the National Stadium there. So sometimes I go there, meet with them, train with them, encourage them, give them one or two advice. And then other organizations too, sometimes they invite me, they call me to be part of their program. I also participate in those programs as well. Those are just the few that we can do. Remember that I don't base here fully. So every time I come around and I have the opportunity to mingle with them, even sometimes outside the states, I do participate, and make sure I encourage them in my own little way that I can.
That's good. At least it's good to give back to mankind, to the grassroots. Thank you for doing what you do, and like you said, it's good that you are doing it under at the back of the scene. You're not publicizing it, so it's really a good thing. Thanks for that. Do you think, in your opinion, we would ever get to the level of having a former player at the helm of football, like where we had AFCON in Cameroon, where Eto'o is at the helm of the affairs of football, do you see us getting to that level in Nigeria?
I see that. Is we are getting there. We are getting there. Cameroon. This is the first time. It's happening for them. I would like to congratulate Etofields for getting that position. It's a very huge position, mighty position for him. It's a huge cap for him. So it depends on what he will do. While in office. A lot of eyes are on him. He has done fantastic. He has done well during his playing career. One of the best in the world, not just Africa. Now he has come home to serve his country once again in terms of management. And I think everybody will rally round him and make sure he succeeds. And coming back home, I think we are getting there. Our own style is different. Our political style is different back here. Yes. They don't usually look at, what your feed or specialty. Okay, we are talking about sport. Let's put a sportman there. We are talking about football. Let's put a footballer there. We are talking about medical field. Let's put a doctor, a renowned doctor. We are talking about lecturers, which you put a professor. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's what it is all over the world. Yes. But back here, we have not gotten to that point where everybody will realize that we need to allow those people who are specialists to handle things, and thereby we will get the best out of that. So we will get there, but it's going to take a lot of time. And then each time they give any opportunity to an ex-player or ex-sports person, that person should always make sure that they do the right thing when they get there, so that they can open more opportunities for other people, and then they will give more, they can trust more on this player, so that they can give that position to a player. We can do it. We have players that are well learned. We have a lot of people, I don't want to mention names, that if they give them that opportunity, they will do a fantastic job.
Thank you very much for this. I can really relate with you, because with what you said, that Nigeria is a peculiar nation where we do our things differently. So it's a good thing that people like you or someone like you still have faith that at some point we will get there, where a special person in this particular field will be able to take up that responsibility and lead us. Thank you for that once again. For I've been doing my course of research, which I have always known you as one of the great footballers. I never knew you are a great dresser, as in this gentleman that we are interviewing today. Is, for our viewers, is a fashionista. This man, everything that he wears blends. During I've been looking at some of his pictures. The way he buffs up, as in, for those of you that don't, that's a Nigerian English that I just said. The way he dresses up, you think he's into the fashion industry. And and that's one thing that it's very noticeable about him. So please, can you name for us one or two of your most sought after designers? Because it's something. This is a lighter, a very lax question that I'm asking you. That can you give us two? So probably some of our viewers, or someone like me can always, just take up that something that I want to be dressed like the great Julius Agahawa.
Before I will answer that question, I will just say a few words. You remember what I said about how I concentrated more on what my future will hold, what I will, what my plans will be, how I'm going to realize my potentials and all that. So I did not have time for any thing outside football. My major concern was about football. So I didn't do any other thing. So when I retired from the game, that's when, I said, okay, this is time for me to relax a little bit. Let me feel myself a little bit, So I started, although when I was playing, I used to wear a lot of Dolce & Gabbana. All my t-shirts, my jeans, all was Dolce & Gabbana. So I fell in love with their cuts, the way it suits your body, and I fell in love with Dolce & Gabbana. And then later in life, I started wearing Gucci as well. This t-shirt I'm wearing is Dolce & Gabbana, but you cannot see the logo everywhere. So I fell in love with Gucci as well. And then my suit, most of them are made in the UK from Suit Supply. So and some few of them are Gucci as well. So and a few Dolce & Gabbana. So sometimes you want to express yourself. It doesn't have to be a designer. It doesn't have to be the biggest label. You want to express yourself. Fashion don't have to be expensive. It's how you put it together. It's how it looks on you, how comfortable you are, under what you put on. I think that's the expression I'm trying to create. And also, I do promote some Nigerian brand as well. Sometimes they do call me, to put on their clothes for them, just to promote their brand. And Clear Vision is one of them. Clear Vision is someone that I try to promote out here.
No, they are going to pay. You can't mention that they are going to pay. No.
Okay, so I'm not going to mention names. Okay, I'm not going to mention names. So I try to promote some brand as well.
Okay, that's really
so like I said, I just try to express myself the way I feel that people can recognize, and say, okay, maybe I can inspire people in my own little way, and say, okay, maybe I can also do something like this. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be cheap, but the way you look good on you, the way it suits you, that's the most important thing, and how you put them together.
Yes. In fact, that's a very good one. So for our viewers and people that will be maybe watching this video later, Julius Aghahowa has given us a hint of the designers to look out for. This is where he gets his dress or fashion sense from. So he has just told us in a nutshell. Those are nuggets that I'm going to pick up myself. And the lady that has been asking a question now, she made a comment earlier. She made a comment again now. She said Julius Aghahowa is Mr. GQ of sports. So that so that means it's not only me that notice, people notice, because I was just going through I said, wow, this gentleman have a very good fashion sense. The way you put them together is commendable. There is no doubt about that. So I just had to mention it. And for those of us
thank you so much, Mr. Jide.
You are welcome. And for those of our followers that don't know this, he dresses, I think, himself, Julius Aghahowa, and there's a gentleman that is he's a presenter, Ebuka, is in Nigeria. They have the same, they dress about the same way. Those are the top dressers that I know, that I've seen on the social media that I know. So we have to give it to you. Thank you for that. If you're not a footballer,
thank you. I'm honored.
You're welcome, sir. If you're not a footballer, and what profession would you have picked up?
Well, this is the game I know all my life, right from a very young age. This is the only thing I've always been engaged with. But while I was growing up, I also was into gymnastics and also table tennis. Wow. And also I'm very good. If I want to, for example, try my luck with athletics, I think I will do well as well. Wow. So, but the one I know that I'm very, very good at, table tennis. I'm very good at table tennis. And I'm also good at being a gymnast, but that was back in the day. I can't go and do that now. So so those are the few ones I can mention.
Wow, this is really, really great. So it's cut across. So it's not just a football. You are into different,
Yes.
areas of in sports. Table tennis. So I'm
Yes.
just thinking about you'll be giving the likes of Atonda Musa, all those people. You give them nightmare.
They run for their money.
Exactly. If you are picked up table tennis, so that's why it just came like. After that, Musa will have been like, "Oh my God, where is this man coming from?" So that's a very good one. Gymnastics, that's good. That's an area that I don't think I've really excelled in the Nigerian society, but that is very good. So we move on to our final question. We've really enjoyed this session with you. Yeah, your families are here, extended and immediate family. So does any one of your kids play football? And if they do, would you support any one of them picking up, a footballer? I haven't experienced, all these odors. Would you, encourage, support a kid to go into football?
Definitely. Just to set the record straight, I only have one daughter,
Okay.
and she's in uni now in the UK.
Wow.
So, but I have lots of kids that that are with me, that I train, that I help out. So I have lots of them. So, remember those days when we come up with our own style of what we want to do in life. Our parents don't usually allow us to do it. But that generation is fast gone. And right now, we encourage our kids right now to do anything, anything they want to do, provided is not something that will that will ridicule them or that will ridicule the family. Provided is a positive thing, whatever they want to do, we will support them, to make sure they achieve whatever their aim is. Because particularly, remember, I was a victim, in respect of that, when they used to flog me to stop me from playing, not because I wasn't a good player, but because they were scared that if I get injured, they won't have money to go and take care of me. My mom was very scared. You remember, I lost my dad when I was just 9 years old. So my mom was the only one to take care of 6 of us. So she was scared that if I get serious injury at that age, and she doesn't have the money to take me to hospital for treatment and all that. So they were trying to prevent me from playing the game. But I love the game. I wanted to, that's the only thing I wanted to play. And that's the only thing that brought happiness, to me. When I'm outside the house, that's the only thing I think of, every day, every minute, every second. That's the only thing I think of. So right now, if my child wants to do anything, I will support her, to do whatever she wants to do, just provided she concentrates and make sure she really, really wants to do that. I think that's what a lot of people are also doing now. They're supporting their kids.
Yes, yes, definitely. What you just stated is the fact now. That is not what operates back then with the older generation. We've come to term now. The parents of, in Nigeria, even in Africa, even with the winning of Senegal now, everybody now wants to go into sport. People are supporting across the spectrum that anything you want to do, especially when it is sports, will support you. So I understand what you just said now. So any kids that want to do anything, any chosen career, the parents are always there to support them. In as much as we don't want to end this, I must say this has been a very insightful, like we said, exciting, because I've just been laughing at with the comments that have been coming. People have been, the GQ. I can't forget that GQ of sports. In anytime soon. So we really enjoyed, you coming on to come and shed light more on, your life as a footballer, what you went through. Thank you very much for sharing that with us on this platform. We're really grateful for your time, for everything you've said. We really appreciate you. Thank you to all our viewers. Please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe, follow us, comment, like people have been commenting, and ask questions from our, from all our guests, all that have been able to grace this platform. From us on this side, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you once again, Mr. Julius Agahahowa, for gracing us with your presence. Until next time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And to all the viewers around the world, thank you for tuning in. And I'm very, very sure more players, more else international, more sportsmen will come to this channel to answer your questions. Stay tuned. Always come back to this channel to check what the latest will be. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Until next time, we'll see you again.
You're welcome.
Bye.